the first U.S. tests of a possible coronavirus vaccine are underway. The phase 1 trial is happening in Washington state, one of the hardest hit parts of the country. 50 people there have died. Let me be clear, this trial is totally voluntary. It'll last 6 weeks. 45 healthy individuals between the ages of 18 and 55 are being asked to participate, and Neil Browning is one of them, one of the very first volunteers to actually receive this trial vaccine. Neil, thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so this was totally volunteer. You're healthy.
Right.
Why did you want to do this?
To make this end as quickly as possible for the rest of the world. If I'm healthy enough to be able to contribute research and hoping to find a vaccine sooner than later, why wouldn't I?
Amen. Thank you for that. Can you just explain how many rounds of shots you'll get, and did the doctor say what side effects you could have? Talk to me about the conversation you had with your doctor.
Sure. So the first step was making sure everyone was healthy. So everybody went through a physical, blood draws, tests to make sure that everything looked good. After that, we were administered vaccine. We have to do a daily chart where we take our temperature, jot down any side effects or things that we might see that could be a contributing factor from the vaccine. Once a week, we need to go back in and have blood drawn, where they will cycle through the blood, look to make sure that the body's reacting the way it's expected to, producing the antigens that hopefully will allow us to combat coronavirus should we become exposed to it. The fourth weekend, I actually go back in and everyone will get a second dose of the vaccine. We go through another 4-week period of once a week going back in for blood, and they track how that progresses from there.
How will the doctors know if this works?
So the way that this is working, there's no actual virus in this vaccine, neither one that's been weakened nor a dead one. They're using a new technique that basically teaches cells in my body to build protein structures that resemble the outer shell of the actual coronavirus. My body should react to that and see it as a foreign invader, attack it, and learn how to combat that structure that's been built by my body. Assuming that works, they should be able to track that there are antigens and white blood cells being produced in numbers that are showing an immunoresponse as expected.
Incredible.
Okay, let's talk about the kids and the parents having a lot of special quality time at home right now with the little ones. But this, especially with the kids, the younger ones, it can be quite terrifying. Your advice, and this is important, before dealing with their anxieties and their fears, manage your own feelings first. So explain why that is so important.
Because children have an emotional lifeline to their parents. And as a result, they're little sponges, and they absorb, no matter what you say, they absorb what you're feeling. So the best way to help calm a child is to calm yourself, whether it's mindful meditation, whether it's some cognitive behavioral tricks to sort of reframe this as a positive, interesting new stage in life. And then you can get to the good work of explaining to kids what's going on in, simple language, not scary language. But isn't this an interesting science experiment happening in the world?
And kids are smart. They know when someone's sort of spinning a line at them and it's not being, when someone's not being genuine. The question of what to say to your kids, it came up during the coronavirus briefing at the White House on Monday. This is how President Trump answered the question.
I've spoken actually with my son. He says, "How bad is this?" It's bad. It's bad. But we're going to be hopefully a best case, not a worst case, and that's what we're working for.
I'm sorry if parents should be maybe a little more reassuring than that. Explaining stuff like hand washing is really good way of stopping the virus. Empowering children as opposed to maybe just terrifying them.
Exactly. I mean, we can quell people's fears by giving them a sense of control, whether they're a kid or an adult. So what are we telling adults? Wear masks, wash your hands, wear gloves, etc. And with kids, we can reassure them with one other thing. Besides spending time teaching them about microscopic germs, we can also Teach them that there are lots of scientists working very hard right now to quickly make a vaccine. Kids understand vaccines. They've been getting the vaccine since they were born. And so explaining to them that very soon, some amazing smart scientists are going to bring a vaccination to all of us and we'll all be safe again. And in the meantime, we'll just stay a little separate from each other to keep us safe.
This is La Paz Hospital, one of the most important in the Spanish capital. They are treating patients with coronavirus. They won't tell us how many or in what condition they're in. Just as importantly, this hospital is taking part in a new clinical trial of a drug that has been used for some elements of coronavirus. They want to see how it works against this coronavirus, COVID-19. It's a European effort. Hospitals in Germany, France, Italy, and now Spain are involved in this clinical trial. And what they're going to do is they're taking patients, volunteers, in two categories. The more serious patients, they want to see whether this new drug brings down their fevers. And for the more mild patients, they want to see whether the new drug gets them out of the hospital quicker. This hospital, like all of them in Spain, now under direct control of the Spanish government. The #1 priority is coronavirus. They are expecting a further influx of patients. Al Goodman, CNN, Madrid.